Oh God, what's going on? What is going on with this thing? Oh my God, oh my God. What the heck? It's just going up. It's going up and up. What's going on? Oh my God. Oh God. Oh, what's going on? No. So you want to learn how to fly the Gasbag in Ark Extinction. Well, I noticed a lot of folks have been having trouble flying the Gasbag, so I decided to do a little video. Not to brag, but I think I've gotten quite good with maneuvering the Gasbag, and I'm going to share with you a few tips and some tricks that I've learned from using the Gasbag. So there are a few important things to realize about the Gasbag. Firstly is oxygen is a big deal. You need a lot of oxygen if you plan on using your bag to travel. Hello there. If you're just using it for something other than traveling, then you don't need oxygen, but this thing is a fast hauler of goods with a lot of weight. So I do recommend quite a bit of oxygen. Minimum, in my opinion, if you're going to use it to farm, 11,000 oxygen. That's my opinion on official PvP. Some of my bags have like 15,000, 16,000, so it just depends on what you like. But yeah, so one of the other things to note about the Gasbag is the gas, when you're using the gas, which means going forward or any direction with the left analog stick or on PC, whatever your directional key is to go forward or backwards, that's going to use gas. And also your jump or X button on PlayStation 4 is going to use gas as well. Anytime you're using gas, the gas has a tendency to go more up than in any direction that you want. So what that means is at some point your gas bag's just going to keep going straight up instead of the direction of your choosing because the vertical motion has taken over. So most of gas bag flight is point and glide. So you're basically pointing at a target, moving forward, and just kind of gliding it and easing it. Alright, so we're going to go over 3 different techniques to flying the gas bag, and you can choose your best, the one that works best for you. But if you fly the gas bag enough, any of these should work. So the first one that we're going to use is what I like to call the walk off the ledge technique. You're just basically going to walk off the ledge and just keep moving forward until you stop descending, and then you start ascending. You start getting vertical motion. Once you start getting vertical motion, we're going to glide a little bit, and then we'll go forward some more. So here we go. So you're going to walk off the edge, and we're going to use forward on the analog stick, and we're going to get some vertical motion. Now we're going to let off the analog stick, let it glide a little bit. It's going down, so push forward on the analog stick again until it starts getting more vertical motion. Let it glide, and when you're gliding, you're not doing anything. You can basically move your camera, that's about it. Alright, glide. And that's basically that technique, the walk off the edge technique. It's probably the easiest one for anyone to learn. But yeah, it's just a series of glide and thrust. Glide and forward thrust. And then if you need to stop suddenly, you can pull back on the analog stick or go pull back on your directional buttons on your keyboard, and it'll come to a stop and you can land wherever you want. Alright, the next technique we're going to cover is what I like to call the jump straight up technique, which I know isn't very technical, but basically all you're going to do is you're going to look straight up, use the jump to burst into the air, and then start adjusting in which direction you would like to go in. So we're going to look straight up and jump. After you jump, don't touch anything. Just let it float for a minute. And then once it slows down, then you're going to push forward in the direction that you need to go. And then just little adjustments, a little bit, you let off, and then you forward a little bit until you get more vertical motion again, more ascent. And then let off. And then, like, if I want to land on top of this bridge, I'm going to pull back on the stick, and then I'm going to hold the jump just to do vertical thrust. And then we can land wherever we choose, which is going to be on this bridge. All right. The last technique we're going to go over is basically just the common technique of point where you want to go. So we'll just pick an arbitrary point off in the distance. Okay, I want to land on that building in the distance. You can literally, any way you face, it doesn't matter. You just point where you want to go. So I'm going to point over there. And basically, I recommend about a 90-degree angle to get good vertical and forward motion. And then you're going to use the jump button. Just tap the jump button. And then once you start leveling out, you can use forward on your analog stick or directional button, depending on what platform you're on. And the key is always the key with this. Once you start getting too much vertical motion, you have to just let go of everything and just let it glide for a little bit. You don't want to get a whole lot of vertical motion with the Gasbag. That's why people have a tendency to fly into outer space. Most of the Gasbag flying is pointing in the direction you want to go, and then letting it kind of float towards that area. All right, we'll do it one more time. Let's see if we can do a trickier scenario here. Okay, we'll land on that smaller building over there. So same concept. I guess it's probably the same size. Hang on, let's see if we can find a smaller target to show how accurate you can be with the Gasbag. Okay, there's a pillar over here. And a lot of flying the Gasbag is just getting used to it. Personally, I pretty much use the Gasbag for everything. The only time I don't is when I specifically need a certain type of flyer to get places. But other than that, I use it to travel, to farm. It's pretty darn good with the amount of weight and its speed relative to its weight. So we're gonna, you know what? We're gonna change course. Immediate change of course. So we're gonna go in the direction we want. Small adjustments, and then boom, there we are. All right, there's a few things to note when you're flying the Gasbag. The amount of gas you have left, you need to pay attention to that to plan out your flight. Because if you run out of gas, you fall out of the sky. And that's not good because you'll take 30% of your maximum health. So if you're below 30% of your maximum health, then you're gonna automatically die. But the Gasbag, as long as you have some gas in your tank, it'll absorb some of the damage from falling. I'll actually show you an example. I'll go straight up and then let it come straight down. And this is pretty interesting. Watch what happens to the gas when I hit the ground hard. If it ever will come down. There we go. Watch what happens to the gas. There'll be a pretty big burst of gas taken away. See that? Yeah, it took about 100 gas there, but the faster you fall, the more gas it takes. So just something to think about. Another little tip with the Gasbag is that it actually flies best in the corrupted area, which the city is kind of like an extension of the corrupted area. But if you notice in the biomes, in the different biomes, the domes and the sunken biome, it actually doesn't fly as good per se. I think that's a mechanic to do with maybe its natural habitat. I don't know, but it takes a lot more thrust to get from place to place if you're in these biomes. But you can get used to it, and the mechanics are going to be the same as these biomes as they will be on the other maps. So if you take it to a rag, it's going to fly like it does in this biome, and if you take it to aberration, the same thing. But yeah, it takes a little more effort to fly in here. It doesn't thrust as well, but yeah, definitely in the desert biome it thrusts a lot more. It's great. But yeah, that's most of the techniques. I mean, it's actually pretty simple to use. Just remember to you basically are falling with style, just like Buzz Lightyear. You just point in the direction you want to go, boost, glide, boost, glide. That's the trick with this thing. Small adjustments. You make small adjustments to your flight path. But it's all about planning, and it's really fun once you get used to it. I mean, it's fun to see when someone tames the Titan. I'll go up and land on it, and people are like, oh my God, how do you do that? I can't even fly it. It's really easy, and just the key is to remember, let it coast. A lot of gas bag flying is just letting it coast for the most part. So anyway, thank you for watching this video. I will pay attention to the comments if you have any questions. And I am actually going to answer a question right now that I know people are going to ask. Is there any way to make the gas bag land prematurely? Yes and no. I mean, you can use R3, push in R3 on the analog stick, which I don't know what it is on the other platforms, and it will allow you to descend faster, but it's also going to make you take damage, so you'll have to jump off the gas bag. But basically what you would do is you press the R3, it's going to blow all the gas out, and it's immediately going to fall like a normal tame, and then you need to jump off before you land. But you shouldn't do that. That's not a good practice. You just plan your flights out a little better. Anyway, thank you. Like, subscribe, questions below, and I will pay attention.